Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third
Ah,
episode of the Headbangers Variety Show. We're basically gonna talk WrestleMania, but let me start with this: congratulating Damian Priest for finally cashing in Money in the Bank, a fellow not micro, Monster Factory graduate, now is
alumni,
the
yes.
heavyweight champion of the world. I thought that was pretty cool how that happened yesterday. I know Glenn and I were just talking about it before we got on. He didn't see yesterday. I saw yesterday. He saw Saturday. I didn't see Saturday. So this kind of works out.
I
Um,
saw bits and pieces of yesterday, but not the full thing straight through. I saw Saturday straight through. So I took down some notes and everything. So
so yesterday,
um
we'll start with that then because that was pretty cool. First of all, I liked how they incorporated the history of Philly into at least what I saw.
yes.
Rollins came out yesterday with full blown string band, which being a mummer and being in that string band and seeing them come out and they put over the Philadelphia Mummers Museum and Mummers stuff and things like that. So that was pretty cool. I know a lot of people. I saw some people complaining about the actual match between Rollins and Drew McIntyre, but I thought it was good. I mean, the opening spot was McIntyre hitting Seth with a claymore. Like in wrestling, the key is to what? Win. You're in a championship match. You want to win. So why would you not to try to hit your opponent with your finisher? It was basic, but it told the story about wanting to win because all they were trying to do I thought it was kind of cool. All they were trying to do was hit their finishers on one another. That's all
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
doing.
yeah, yeah.
Seth was trying to stop him. He kept trying to pedigree him. Seth's putting over the fact the whole match that his knee got hurt on Saturday, the whole thing. But at the end, Drew hits him with I think like two claymores. Boom, lays him out. 1, 2, 3, and then he goes over to his family. Drew does, his wife, and I don't know, some other guy was there. The commentary was great. They're like, "Oh, look at Drew just kissing some random girl," and then someone else was like, "That's his wife."
That's
I,
his wife.
well,
Yeah.
I just think what's his name, Pat McAfee. In my opinion, for me, he just doesn't cut it for me because he does. I don't know. That's a whole different story for a different day. But CM Punk went down the ringside and was there during the match. And once again, the announcer's table was cleared, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
And Drew was like messing with CM Punk, like throwing the belt in his face and blah blah blah. So you
Yeah.
can see them building that storyline right there. And then as Drew got up, CM Punk trips him, takes the thing off his arm, the brace, and lays him out with a couple shots. And as CM Punk's laughing at him, you hear Damian Priest's music, and you see Punk's face light up. He comes sprinting
Yeah.
down with I got goosebumps last night. I'm getting goosebumps again. It was so cool. And again, being Damian Priest, being that we know him, and the history we have
Yeah.
was cool. He comes, he lays him out with the briefcase one more time, rolls him into the ring, picks him up with a giant choke slam. I mean, we'll get to the match later with Taker when he choke slams The Rock. But I mean, Drew McIntyre got way up there. Boom, 1, 2, 3. I thought that just was a great way to start, especially again the history we have with knowing Damian Priest and being down at the school with him and the history of the Monster Factory behind it. I thought it was really cool.
So I want to go back and address like the first night and everything else. And the set, the way it was, and it was from what I heard, super cold with the wind blowing and everything else for the first night. So we're used to, Vince coming out and, introducing WrestleMania and stuff like that. This is the first time in 40 years that he's had no involvement in WrestleMania. So it's history right there. So the very first shot that they showed Triple H coming out, and then they had the camera behind him, and just to see what he saw, that gave me goosebumps on my arm. And the way how he came out and addressed the crowd and stuff like that, you can see the whole new era coming. With Triple H being in charge of creative and stuff like that. And you can tell, everybody bashed the first night. I thought the first night was phenomenal and it set up stories, like you already just said, for night two. Back in our time, we didn't have a night one and night two. It was just, one and done, and that was it. So, I mean, I thought the whole beginning of WrestleMania with Hunter coming out and stuff like that and doing what he did, it set the tone. And then you could see the difference between last year's WrestleMania and this year's WrestleMania. Every match I felt told a story, and it was almost like an old school type of feel to it. That's how I felt about the first night. And then I want to also address all these keyboard warriors and stuff like that that bashed the first night. And and now I'm seeing a lot of people are bashing the ring announcer, Samantha, about her ring announcing and stuff like that. She is so real when she does her announcements and stuff like that. Like you could tell, like last night after Cody won and stuff like that, she was emotional about it and stuff like that. And people were like dogging her about it. She's probably the best that they've had since Lillian Garcia.
Well, you got to figure
Um,
it too. Like her voice cut out when she was announcing
yeah,
Kobe as the champion. I mean, she's so animated and she's so into it for her voice to go out.
yes,
You can't expect a voice to last as long as she needs hers to last for.
she showed real emotion at
Yeah.
that time, and I don't think people should dog that. I think people should be like, "Wow, that's real. That's it's unbelievable," because
Well,
she was,
it boils down.
just
But it boils down to this: if you're gonna bitch about the ring announcer, like maybe you shouldn't be watching that. Like if you don't like the storyline, you don't like, don't fucking watch it then. Like
yeah,
I have nothing to bitch about, so that's what I'm gonna bitch about. Like just
right,
stop. It's called real life. It's called shit happens. And if you think you can do better, go do it. I mean, like you just stop. It's just stupid. It's like the whole thing. People complaining about the wrestling, the stories, of this, that. Well, then don't watch it. Like there's
right.
something.
You have a
Like
choice.
I've been totally sucked back in to watching. I haven't watched since we left, really. There was
Yeah,
other
me either.
reasons why when I left I didn't watch, but I never got really back into it. This actually got me back into it to the fact that I actually sat there for 3.5 hours last night and watched the whole thing. Usually, I remember one of the last WrestleManias I watched. I actually sat with D'Lo. It was Hogan versus The Rock. I fell asleep during that match just because. Um,
Yeah,
but you get sucked back in. Like I had no like lull moments last night. Like I thought the only part I thought was kind of boring was there was so much time in between each match because they do all the
yeah,
build
yeah,
ups
yeah,
and everything. And I get it,
yeah.
but everyone's pretty much seen it. So just get to the next match. But again, if that's all I'm going to complain about, and I'm not even, and that's not even on my list to complain about.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so
So, so then after Triple H came out and stuff like that, they had the first match, and it was Becky versus Rhea, and it was a good. The thing that I popped the most about that whole entire match was Rhea Ripley's ring entrance. It was phenomenal. She had the live band out there who does her theme song and stuff like that. It reminded me of us, when we came out and stuff like that. When we wanted to have Manson come out with us and everything else. But the match was okay. I mean, it wasn't terrible, it wasn't bad. It was okay. Um, but the highlight for me was the entrance and stuff like that. I like to watch that stuff. I guess it's like the women when they watch the Oscars and Emmys and stuff like that. They watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. Um, I love the ring entrances and seeing what new stuff everybody's wearing and stuff like that. But that night, the first night with Rhea Ripley's ring entrance was phenomenal. I loved it. Um, so I'll go through it really quick. So then they had the second match was um the six team tag team ladder match and stuff like that. So we now have two sets of tag team champs. You have Austin Theory and Waller, and then for Raw you have
the awesome
Truth
truth.
and Miz. And dude, I'll tell you, you know, I love our troops. We go back a long way with him and stuff like that, and seeing the crowd reaction went crazy when they won the belts. It was awesome. Um, so that match was really good. I thought it was decent for a ladder match and stuff like that. So then they had the third match was Santos and Dominic versus his dad and Andros. Um, Dominic Mysterio has so much good heat. There's a difference between good heat and bad heat, and people just don't understand it. Dominic has good heat. People just love to hate him. Um, so then you had and the cool thing about that, the ending of that match is they had Kelsey come in from the Eagles.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it was awesome. They came in it was him and another guy from the Eagles. They came in with masks on and helped Ray and Andros win. So it was really cool, and it got a huge pop once they took the hoods off and everything else. It was awesome. So then they had Damage Control versus Naomi, Card and and Bianca. It was okay. Everybody saw what they wanted to see from Jada. I thought she was awesome. Um, then you had Gunther and Sami Zayn. I thought between that match and the main event were the two best matches of the night. It was a typical with Sami Zayn getting beat up almost the entire match, selling like, oh my God, it was really, really good the way he sold. It was like watching the first Rocky movie. He kept getting knocked down, he kept getting up, he kept getting knocked down, he kept getting up, he kept getting knocked down, kept getting up. And then he won. So it was the crowd went crazy for that. And then the main event from Saturday night was the tag team match
Tag
with the
match.
stipulations and stuff like that. I thought that match told such an old time story. It was, I thought it was great. Um, they went everywhere. They went outside the ring. They went, just everywhere. Let's see what my note said. Um, and let's address Seth's robe. I don't know if you saw it or not. It was the most elaborate robe I've ever seen. It looked like he had some kind of hat or something like that on his shoulder, but it had a real long thing, real long train to it and everything else. It was definitely different. But Seth freaking Rollins, he's different. Which I love because why? Because he can. It was like us. So um I just thought, the ending of that the main event told such a story and set up night two. And now you can talk about night two.
Well, I mean, night two for me, I'm not going to go through each match like you did because that was boring. But no, I'm just going to do more of a general thing because the two I wanted to focus on, which were the two big championship matches, and I already talked about the Rollins match and Drew with Damian Priest coming out on top. But every single match I thought had a story behind it. Even like some of the storylines I didn't fully understand. Like I didn't understand they did the what was it? The one match. The hell was it? The triple threat match with no, not the triple threat match. The I didn't even write it down. It was that 6-man match with Bobby Lashley and the Street
Oh,
Profits
the street
against.
fight. The street fight.
I didn't even I didn't even know the story. I didn't know anything about it. But they announced Bubba Ray Dudley as the special referee. So Bubba came out and got a pop, and they did some comedic stuff in there with the 3Ds. Well, not 3D, but some of the stuff the Dudleys did. But I thought as a whole, the storyline, each match told a story. And it wasn't even so much the announcers telling the story. You could see the story unfolding in the matches. So they were all really,
100%.
really well done. The Bailey went over for the new women's title. So out of everything, so the
Which
US
was
champion,
awesome. Which was awesome because in that match, that also told a story. They focused on a body part
right.
because I did see that match. They focused on a body part and they stayed with it. She sold it through the entire match. Even when she was running and she was doing offensive stuff, she sold that body part. So that was a phenomenal job, I thought.
Yeah, unlike LA Knight when AJ worked on his knee the whole time and then he would just walk away and then all of a sudden, oh wait, I got a limp. And then he would just keep walking like it was normal again. And then AJ would get back to the knee and then he wouldn't sell it again. But again, I don't want to bitch about it because it is what it is. I think LA Knight's gotten himself over because his charisma's there, but his work wise, I don't think he's ready for that main event status that everyone wants to push him to. But going back, let me focus on the couple of things. The U.S. champion, there was no change. Logan kept the belt. I actually thought that was a pretty good match because again, they told us the story was believable, especially with the character with Kevin. And I love that Randy Orton's got more of a. Now I don't want this to sound the way it's going to sound, but more of a fun personality. He's always been so serious in the ring. Like now, when he came down and rode a golf cart down with Kevin Owens. Him and Kevin were acting like they were going to work together, and then all of a sudden, Randy was like, "No, I'm going to hit RKO on Logan," and Kevin Owens was like, "What are you doing?" Like the storyline there was good. I thought that went over well. Rhea kept the belt, Bayley won the belt, and then obviously Sammy won the belt. And I thought it was cool before the U.S. Championship match. Sammy was standing there before Kevin went out, and he was like, "All right, it's your turn now. Go get it." He didn't get it, but and then you already mentioned the 2 tag champs, and then the heavyweight championship changed twice, and then obviously Cody Rhodes winning. I thought that match was good because it was again, it was slow,
a great story
to the point. It was methodical. The only thing, well, there was 2 things I really didn't like. So one thing was, and this is kind of dumb too. They mentioned how Roman Reigns has been champion for 1,316 days. That's all he's been champion. 31 title defenses. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. That's 10 title defenses a year. Like that's not a lot. But anyway, it was.
Well, wait, but did that make his mystique more, or did that make it worse for you? I think that made the title more important.
No,
that
because,
hey, I don't defend this all the time. This is special.
But it's got to be defended. It wasn't. Didn't the rule used to be every 30 days? If you didn't defend it for 30 days, you lost it. So, but again, not a big deal. It is what it is. But the part I did not like is when I guess bloodline rules started kicking in. So it was supposed to be, anything goes. There's no rules. There's no camp. There's no nothing. So, what's his name? Cody pulls a table out, and then Roman Reigns puts his back under the table. It's like, no, puts it back. So, but then they started doing the run-ins. Like Jimmy Uso comes out, and then Jay comes out, and they go and fight off, and they end up doing a spear off the stage through a table. So, like, they're out. Then all of a sudden, Solo comes down, and he does the big thumb gimmick, and then John Cena comes running down.
Huge.
Runs down, gets involved, and then they're kind of off. And then The Rock comes down, and him and Cena square off, and he hits him with the rock bottom. And then the Shield music plays. Seth Rollins comes out, dresses the Shield, and does something. And then all of a sudden, here comes the Undertaker. Bong, everything's black, and The Rock's in the ring. Turns around, looks at Taker. Taker gives him the choke slam. Rock didn't even get up to his hip. That's how high he didn't jump. But didn't get up. Boom, goes out.
I thought it was awesome.
But it was cool, but that was it. And then I realized they're milking a storyline that's 10 years old with Rollins and Roman, with Roman hitting Rollins with the chair. But in my opinion, right there, I thought it would have been really cool for Rollins there to turn on Cody and lay Cody out with the chair to let Roman go over to keep the story, that part of the story going. But at the end, I realized that story's finished, and now a new story is going to begin, especially at the end when Cody basically said, listen, I'm here because of 2 people, Bruce Pritchard and Triple H. I know you don't out here, but come out, do the whole thing. So I thought it was cool how it finished, and I thought it was cool. The finish was kind of cool, but I could see where it's going to go with the Triple H era now without Vince and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just thought not changing the title could have been cool, but because now I'm looking at the brands. So which brand is better off now if the title changes? Because now you have Damian Priest as the Raw champion, and you have Cody as a SmackDown champion. And maybe it's just because I don't watch SmackDown because it's on Friday nights, and I'm never home to watch it, and I usually watch Raw. I always kind of thought as Raw is the better brand, but is SmackDown the better brand now with having Cody as champ over? Like, is Damian Priest going to be able to carry that brand? Because he's going to have CM Punk chasing him, he's going to have Drew McIntyre chasing him. So which brand is going to be better or stronger with these title changes?
I'm intrigued now to watch even more so now, knowing that Hunter has full control and stuff like that with creative, because we all know what kind of brain he has and stuff like that, and just seeing how WrestleMania was and stuff like that with the storylines and how it continues to carry on is it's exciting
Yeah, but
for
in your
me
opinion,
as
but in your opinion, what brand is going to be strong? Which brand is stronger?
um I think they're going to be equally as strong. Um, I can see,
That is such a
I can
politically
see.
that is such a politically correct answer.
I know, but I can. Well, I mean, I can see, but it's not called the SmackDown Heavyweight Champion. It's or
No, but
he's not the
you have the Raw Tag Team Champions, you have the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and that belt belongs to that brand.
right. But I mean, I guess I can see Cody's, because of the storyline with Cody, how he finished the story and stuff like that. I can see that being more, fan based. But I can see, with Damien and stuff like that, it being, that's a good question. Maybe we should leave that to our 41 viewers that
And
that
now what
watch.
happens with and then my other question is like where does this go with The Rock? Because The Rock was supposed to be all about the bloodline and the boss and the final boss. And he came out Saturday
Interesting.
with his own custom belt and did all this other stuff, then gets laid out by The Undertaker, and then he's not seen in the finish anymore. Like, I don't know. I guess my problem with the match was I expected more interference focused on Cody. Like Cody just getting the shit beat out of him, and somehow you knew Cody was going to go over. I guess I was expecting more people from the bloodline to come down and leave Cody laying, where Cody comes out with the win out of nowhere. And again, it's cool, it's nostalgic because it's the biggest WrestleMania of all time to get Cena, to get Taker, to get Rock, to get
Yeah.
everyone to come out to the ring like that. That was cool. It was absolutely cool to watch as a fan. But at the same time, how does that help with the bloodline? Like, and where's Rock go with that now? Is that dead?
Well, then maybe we should all tune in tonight and watch Monday Night Raw to find
Yeah,
out. Because I'm
but
sure.
again, Cody's on SmackDown, so it's really they're going to show highlights of it, but that storyline isn't really going to be told on Raw tonight. And Raw tonight's the biggest Raw of all time because the night after WrestleMania is
Right.
always the biggest Raw to watch. So, but I did have two things that were annoying me watching. One were the 10 counts for the referee. These guys are outside the ring beating the shit out of each other for a minute, minute and a half. And you look at the ref and he's like, 4.
Hi. Yes.
He's like,
Yes.
maybe I should say 5 now. Like that was driving me crazy. And I really felt bad for whoever the guy was that had to keep fixing the announcers tables because every single match they wiped them off, and then every single match they were back there ready again. Like, how many times just don't use them or just don't have the announcers have anything on their tables anymore?
Yeah. And then it was funny because my thought was, are they broken now? Are they expensive? I mean, what? I mean, I know they're tablets, but like, what is it?
Yeah, at least
So
they didn't
yeah,
have to
I thought
pick
that
those.
was
Remember those old ones? They picked those big monitors up and threw them on the ground.
yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah.
was like, they
Well,
were
that one I
fixing it
could
for every
understand.
match.
Yeah, the big ones I could understand because they could hurt. Those little ones, they took a beating. And it was good to see the Spanish announce table get destroyed again as well.
Well, they both got
As
destroyed in
usual.
the main event, but yeah, it's usually the Spanish
Yeah,
cables when it gets destroyed
yeah.
first. Yeah. But no, I thought overall it was again, I didn't fall asleep during it, which is kind of means something, especially since I was camping all weekend. And when I came back, I
Yeah.
was exhausted. Because I'm out camping, I sleep, but I don't sleep well. Not like I do at home. So I was tired, but I didn't fall asleep at all, and I watched the whole thing, so I thought it was pretty good. The other thing with WrestleMania weekend, which was pretty cool, is our new action figures that are coming out. Those
I
things
know that was
are
awesome.
tremendous. And then
Yes.
somebody posted this on Twitter. Where's it at? The hell's his name? David West. Dave Woods at W00D7. He goes, it's a surprise things you come across at hashtag WWE World that make you smile. Think of your childhood. I love the Headbangers. One picture was us of our action figures. And then this picture I could have done without. I guess we're in some kind of cones thing.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, and if I zoom in, I think that says the Headbangers down there, but it's too blurry
Right,
to
yeah.
see. But I was like, okay, we're there, but I could do without ever having to see those cones again. Could do with ever having to see those again. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was good overall, and I think again, for me, I'm intrigued, and to get intrigued is
I
good.
can't yeah, I can't wait to see tonight what happens tonight.
Yeah, Raw will be good tonight, so we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got about WrestleMania. I thought it was cool. I thought it was good, at least what I saw. So it'll be
Yeah, I thought it
interesting
was
to
good
see
too.
where it's going because
Agree.
you can see the beginning last night was Stephanie came out, and from what I heard on the run
Yeah.
sheet, it was supposed to be Hunter, but Stephanie came out, and what I thought was cool, she did the old "I'm going to steal a line, are you ready?" and she just said it
Yeah.
soft, and then she did the "Are you ready?" like Hunter always did. So
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was good. So it'll be good to see where they go now in this whole new era of the Triple H era.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. All right, then. Yeah. So that's our review on WrestleMania. We'll see. We'll see how many of you 25 people agree or disagree with it. But it is what it is. Amber, damn landscaper out front. All right, cool. That's all I got. Then we shall tune in next week. Peace out.
Later.
All right. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah. Yo, I thought the same thing with the refs. Every time they looked up, they were like 4, 5,
It was
and
slower
it
than
was
that.
forever.
I mean,
Yes.
there was the one that I don't remember which one it was. They literally were. I wanted to rewind and see how long they were at it. It had to be out of the ring for 2 or 3 minutes, and it was on like a 5 count.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yep.
we all know how
All
that
right.
goes.
I gotta run. I gotta be at this meeting.
All right, goodbye.